funny you said they couldn't find their queen. I should have told them, I'm not
I'm
your
here.
queen. I may be a queen, but I'm not your queen.
Like a child. So you see, this is what I
Oh, so sweet.
need. Yeah.
When before it would have been the reverse, when you came home and you showed her what you need. I remember when I was living in Australia, I used to get homesick, and then before I went to sleep, I would recount all the stalls, the hawker stalls in Chom Chom. What's that?
Ways to be creative, right? As a midlifer, and what it does to the brain. We share quite a lot in the Spin the Wheel about how to be creative, right? So maybe you want to... Is there anything
to expand on? Yeah. I think there can only be good things that come out of trying to be creative. You cannot go wrong with that. Yeah. Because it forces you to think out of the box and do things in a refreshing way, not the same old just because you've been doing it like this forever or everybody else does it that way. That's how new ideas come out, right? And then it becomes a trend, and then who knows, everybody else starts following you. So I think that creativity is sorely underrated, and it seems to be only something that people who are so-called creative do get involved in. But anybody can be creative. Like a mother can be creative in how she prepares her kids' meals to make it enjoyable, and that the kid will want to eat it and look forward to meal times, right? So I think creativity is a quality that more people should all try to be creative, even if you're not a creative type, like, so what? I
think creativity is not just about art, right? It's creative thinking.
Correct.
Because you're using a different part of your brain.
Yes.
I want to share this before we go any further, just to take this topic on a different tangent.
You found it. Okay.
What does creativity do to the brain, right? It's a whole brain cross-functional workout fostering neuroplasticity, right? And I feel this is so important for people in their midlives,
Absolutely,
because as you age, your brain also starts to shrink, right?
Yes. Shrink and harden, correct.
And if we don't do this, where we learn how to use both,
acrobatic, neural acrobatics,
to stretch it,
exercising,
make it pliable.
Absolutely.
Neuroplasticity, right?
Brain fitness,
to constantly just keep it pliable.
Yes.
And I think the thing is that being creative, like Shamala, like what you just said, right, can sound very vague, can sound intimidating. Like, oh, do I have to learn to do something that is conventionally deemed creative? Design something, draw something, create something, musician, art. But I would argue that it's not that. Creative could be literally just trying new ways that you do the same thing. Right? Oh, you've always hopefully this is not too tenuous, but I would even link creativity into being open to try something new. Like you've always had this brand of coffee, and then just for once, right? Just look at the other brands, be open and go, okay, maybe I'll try something else. Things like that, like little things, dressing, it could be creative. Even frivolous things, and I will share a frivolous thing that I did a few years ago. Now it's been many years, where one day I was like brushing my teeth, right? And then I just go, I've always wondered if I could be ambidextrous. So, so that day, many years ago, I just decided I'm gonna brush my teeth with my left hand. Then it slowly incorporated into like just small little things, and I find it fun because it's like a little challenge for me. And I get better at it every day. Then it's like a fun little game, right? Like from brushing to, oh, can I use my skincare but with my left hand as a dominant hand? Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I am
also-
ambidextrous.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How lucky.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I also watched a video on that if you do something that's difficult that you're not used to doing, like trying to be creative, like, using your weaker hand, your brain actually grows.
Yes.
Yeah.
I read about that.
And
or,
that's
or rather, I listened to a podcast about that.
Yeah. Like, why would we not want to try to do that, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of breakfast, like coffee, what I've lately done for my half-boiled eggs is I've added nuts into them.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I used to get a bit hungry, like at lunch, just before lunch, because I'm doing housework, right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to fortify it with something protein rich. People usually put cereal or whatever, or they eat it with bread, which I don't. So I thought, yeah, I'll just throw in macadamia and cashews. Yeah, and it's so delicious. It kind of gives the whole concoction a new flavor. The eggs even have a new flavor. Yeah, and it's so richer, and what they call very lemak, right? Yeah, and I feel so much fuller, and I have more energy to do my tasks.
Okay. How many eggs do you take?
3.
Okay.
I think so.
The hard boil usually fills
Makes you
up.
fuller, right?
So if I take 3 hard boil and I mash it up, I put some olive oil. I like to eat it. I put chili, and I like to eat it with seaweed.
Oh, okay.
I'll use the seaweed as a wrap, and I put the hard boiled egg.
Oh,
So
okay.
yummy.
Okay.
Yeah, the seaweed adds some
Nice too.
savory, like a savory cut.
Yeah.
Wait, so do you eat 3 eggs with the yolks as well?
Yeah.
I assume, okay.
You have to eat the yolks.
Yeah, there's always been
Have
this
to
like,
eat the yolks.
Yolks are like high.
You're not getting the
cholesterol and stuff.
But the vitamins are all in the yolk. You have to eat the yolks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the talk about the cholesterol is all a scam.
It is. And it's not even about cholesterol, to be honest. It's about triglycerides. If your triglycerides are bad, that's bad. Nothing really can be done unless you change your diet or something. Yeah. Whereas cholesterol, they have medication. So they will just ply you with a medication like, oh, your cholesterol is bad. That's very, very bad. Come, take this.
Yeah.
That's how they make money.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether this part will be censored by YouTube. Because they do censor a lot of, like, if you talk about this kind of things, right?
Oh, okay.
They like to cut it off because sponsored by Big Food or Big Pharma or whatever.
Pharma.
So yeah, I think eggs, people think like you cannot eat too much. If you eat 1 a day, it's enough. No, it's not enough. You have to eat 3 or 4. Like
I used to not like the yolks growing up as a kid.
You don't like that yolk. Didn't like the
growing
yolk.
up, I never liked hard boiled.
Yeah.
And then the yolk, I always feel like, it's
Oh.
dry.
Yeah.
Very,
I felt the same as a child. Yeah.
And then it's very like, and then I'll see, adults around me like eating it, and then I'll be like, why? So whenever they offer, they're like, oh, you don't like 你不喜欢 给我 lot. Then I
so
always
happy.
take it.
I guess people need to be a bit more creative, right, in feeding kids the hard boiled egg.
Oh yes.
Like put a bit of olive oil, like you do, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, else is dry. I'm with you on that, Jimmy. When I was a kid, I like, I really dislike the yolk. Yeah.
And there's a smell because it's hard boiled.
Sulfur.
Almost like sulfur,
sulfurous smell. Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know why.
But it's nice.
I don't know why people eat this. And then it just changed.
I think now because as a grown up, you can do it the way you would like, right? So
Yeah,
You know?
I think so.
Not just actually creating art or music or even
Yeah.
writing
Yeah.
something, or dancing even,
Yeah. Simple movements, I feel, like what Jimmy said earlier on, if we're open enough to try something different,
Yeah.
it keeps our brain balanced.
Yes.
And it actually allows us to become automatically, you don't even have to try, right? It makes you become naturally quite creative. You don't need to try like, oh, I need to be creative. You know, you don't have to like
Yeah.
think so hard, you know.
Yeah, because
And
your brain is so used to it already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a two-way thing, you know, whether you do it through exercises to keep your brain balanced so that you become naturally creative, or if you're naturally creative, your movements will also, it will show up as you being more balanced.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, right? I mean, the body is quite a fantastic machine, you know.
Yeah. Just approaching creativity not necessarily as it has to show up as a conventional creative output, right? Like a photograph or like a little sculpture or something like that. But even things like time management, you know, to be creative about your time management, you need to do one more thing. How can I be time creative?
Correct.
I can do all three.
Correct.
Can both
Yeah.
A and B run concurrently?
Yeah.
How can I do that, right? Like just
Yeah.
almost like giving
Absolutely.
yourself little puzzles to solve and just be creative and
Yeah.
like little
Actually,
games.
it's like being smart
Yeah.
about going about doing things, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what I was just gonna do later on is I was gonna order my lunch and then vacuum one of the rooms that I didn't have time to do. So I was like, why sit around and wait for the freaking lunch to come? Go and do that. Yeah. And then because I thought earlier on, I thought I could have finished it, I was gonna go and get the car washed. So I was gonna order my food, then go and get the car washed and vacuumed and everything, then come back, oh, my food is here. So yeah, so that's like another form of creativity.
Yeah. It's like multitasking in a way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's functional creativity. Yeah.
Mm.
And I think it's like that definition of creativity or different way of doing things or trying different things in general, right?
Yes.
Because otherwise, I think with age and all this, the natural tendency, I guess, is things get
They
more
set.
streamlined.
Yeah. Get very set in your ways.
So then there's maybe lesser things to do, and then if it's so repetitive, right? Yeah, I don't know. It could almost feel like overly predictable.
Yeah.
And I mean, it may work for some people, maybe a lot of people, but for me, you know, that craving of like, oh, is there something else? Is there something different? Giving yourself that ability, trusting yourself that you have the ability to create, basically, to create something. You don't need to wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody to ask you, hey, do you want to try this?
I was also going to say about like creative multitasking, how I would pray the rosary while I'm doing my housework. Because otherwise because I pray all the 4 sets of mysteries, I would take 2 hours to do that. And I'm going to have to take 2 hours from my day, which is a lot. Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to take 2 hours to do my housework. I will do it mentally. Yeah. I will pray mentally. So it's like, I'm so happy with it. That arrangement that I've come up with.
Do you say out loud?
I kind of like mouth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can imagine if I were to do it, right, I'll lose count if I just do it mentally.
Okay, so what I
need to
do
verbalize.
is I'll say 1 Hail Mary, 2 Hail Mary. So I'll know that I've done 10.
Okay.
Then I'll go to the next decade. Yeah. And because I can remember every mystery, so I'll know where I am, which, you know, sorrowful, glorious, or joyful, or whatever. Yeah. So, because the more you do it, the better you get. You know, you're more efficient in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really love that.
A good use.
Yes, very good use of my time, and elevates what I do. It's not just housework. It becomes sacred offering. You know. Yeah.
There's so many things that we can do, like, I mean, cooking, how we present our food. You know, I watched this guy on TikTok, right? This I think he's American, but maybe he's mixed Japanese. Like every day he'll arrange his food in a food tray. Very creative, right? And how he presents his own breakfast for himself. So every day he'll decide which bowl he'll use, which cup he'll use, and it's a very zen, very slow process, right? And the way he presents it is like so neat, and it's like, yeah, just a simple thing like presenting your food in a tray, how you want to design it. It keeps your brain, in active mode, right?
Yes.
So things like that. And it's also so nice to do something pleasurable for yourself, like to honor yourself in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's, and midlifers, if they are retired already, they have more time, they can do this sort of things for
slow living.
Yeah, slow living.
Purposeful, intentional. I also feel it's important to give time to appreciate creative performances or things, pursuits. Yeah, it's not like, it's not important lah, go and watch ballet, go to a museum. I think these things are very important. And they change the way we look at things, and they give us a lot of ideas for our own life too, right?
Yeah. I think it awakens a different part of yourself. The question that Jimmy got earlier on, where you answered, what is it that you do quietly where other people don't notice, or something like that. In my mind, I was thinking of my own answer, right? And the thing that I've always felt very important is to honor other people's creativity. So I will never get pirated movies or pirated stuff, because I feel it's so important to honor the creator, right? So I have friends who will say, everybody's doing it, why so stupid, you pay more, that sort of thing. I say,
That's
no.
very honourable, I must say.
And I say,
very,
no.
very honourable, because it's very hard to resist that free sauce.
Yes. Yeah. So I said, it's okay, I'll pay. I'd rather pay.
Good
because
for you.
I feel someone took time, energy to create, and so that has to be honored.
Yes, absolutely.
I think the other thing about creativity as well is, again, maybe it's a little bit frivolous, right? But it's just, what do you choose to wear every day? Like, be creative. Like, maybe this can go with this, or this can go with that. Or like, try something.
Yeah, try it different combinations.
Or like, style your hair a little bit different. Or wear like different jewelry.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an expression of who you are that day, maybe. Yeah, it's a creative expression.
Yeah, and I think especially if the person has the luxury of being able to take it a little bit slow that day, because I'm sure all of us will have days when we just need to get to things, right? We just have a list of things we need to complete and accomplish. Then it's like whatever works, that we know works. This breakfast I can get in 5 minutes, it will keep me full until 12. This set of clothes that I know, will like work well in this weather or something like that. But then on days when we have more time, I think it's nice to just kind of like thought for a bit.
I don't know about you, but every day I will think about what I'm gonna wear tomorrow.
And as much as I wear a lot of black, I still like, maybe this black with this black.
Yeah. There's no such thing as they're all black pants or tops, right?
No,
they're all
gosh.
different. Yeah.
No, they're all different. Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time in terms of dressing, right? I don't spend a lot of time like, what am I gonna wear? I always make sure that if I buy a blouse, for example, I will not just buy an ordinary blouse. It has to be something that is different. Like it's got a asymmetrical cut, or it's got a different shape to it. For me, that's my creativity, right? Then I don't have to think when I have to dress. I'll just think, okay, I'll wear this one, That's thinking for me, and I just keep it simpler that way.
That's creativity, thinking ahead for your future self, so to speak. Yeah. That's what somebody said on TikTok too, that whatever you prepare today is actually to help your future self. Like your breakfast things, you put it out first, your clothes or whatever. It's just all for your future self. And it's another creative way of being efficient.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
true.
I think that was the like what you just shared. Shamala reminds me of my closet, my wardrobe turning very, very black. Yeah, part of that reason back then was because I was, I just want to get like, extra sleep in the morning, and then black on black will match, right? And it always
Yeah.
looks a little bit sharper.
Yeah.
And I think for guys,
When in
you
doubt,
just get
just
away
wear
with
black.
it more. I feel because I mean it's like shirt and pants, right? The variation. So then number one, it helps. So nobody can really tell like, hey, didn't you wear this yesterday? No. I'm in all black every day, so nobody knows if I'm wearing the same thing twice, or like going to events like, oh, Bolin, he wore that before. And it also helps somewhat. It didn't totally eradicate my passion for shopping, but it really eradicated a lot because you kind of go,
But it's not black.
it's great, yeah.
But they
Or like
don't have it in black.
this print is very nice, but it doesn't. I mean, that would be the only print, the only item
Just
with print
stick
in my
out, yeah.
closet. Yeah. Or like, oh, it would be the only green or something like that.
I used to love black a lot in my 20s. Everything was black. Like, it's so cool, right? And then when my father passed away, my mother opened my cupboard and she said, oh, you won't have any problems finding what to wear. Because she used to grumble like, black again? You bought another black thing again? This is black. Yeah, and she's like, that generation a bit pantang, right? Yeah. But she was very happy when my father died. She's like, oh, your funeral clothes. Oh, you can wear lah. Anything. Close your eyes and take one.
Oh no.
Quite funny. Yeah, that was our moment of comedy. And okay, speaking of clothes, I recently did something predictively creative. So like for planning for the future in a sense, like what you talked about, buying clothes that have that extra special something, right? So you don't have to think. Yeah. So because I proclaim at church, I read the readings, and you have to dress in a modest, dignified way. I cannot just wear any old thing, I cannot wear a sleeveless outfit. No toga tops and all that. Okay, forget it. So I always have to crack my head like, okay, I have to wear this with this, and yeah, it got a bit tiresome, and sometimes I felt like, I don't want to wear that,
You should just buy a black cape.
So I discovered this shop online. Actually, I discovered two. One called Simple Retro and one called Rihoas. Okay, they sell these dresses. Dresses don't need to pair, right? Dresses are the best. Just grab. That are like those 1940s style, but very soft fabric, and the length is like past the shin. Just beautiful bias cut. Those dresses that women in the 1940s used to wear, just like short sleeve with a collar, but very chic and in like lovely fabrics. And not expensive, like $50 US a dress. Yeah. I was like, that's my answer after all these years. Let's buy. And I was like, fine, no need to think already. Hang them all together. Don't touch them when you're not proclaiming, because these are not non-proclamation dresses.
These are special occasion
wear
dresses.
your other things that you can do whatever you want with, and this one you just grab every time
man.
I'm so happy with that decision. Yeah, I will send you all the photos of
Yes,
the
please.
dresses.
Yeah.
They're so
I'm so
pretty.
curious to see.
Yeah.
This made me think of something, right? That as a working adult, I remember I've always been very envious that women can wear dresses. Because, and to
You
me,
can wear a dress too, you do know that, right?
and to me, wearing all black, right, is like wearing a
Wear a
dress
black
because it will always fit, and that's the thing
Mm.
why I envy women that could wear, I mean, because you have dresses, right? It's like, I always think, like my sister wear dresses. So then I would tell her, so nice, you just wake up and just put on the dress, it will match, and then you can go. Like, you don't need to be like, does this shirt match with this pants? Like, does it match with the belt? The belt match with the shoes, And yeah, all black was my version of a men's dress.
But the funny thing for me, I don't like to wear dresses.
Oh.
So this is really a category of its own. Clothing in a special
Functional.
category. Yeah, because I love to pair. I don't like the restrictiveness of a dress. It's like, it's already a dress.
Fixed.
Like, the most I can do is, maybe wear it with pants, but how often can I do that? It will get boring, right, to me. Yeah, so I hardly buy dresses. And I always think it's too kunyang, and I'm not a very kunyang dresser. Yeah. So it's so weird. Yeah, but it works for this job that I do. Yeah, so I'm so happy. Yeah.
And I'm sure you look nice in them. I can imagine now in my mind, right?
I hope
The
so.
kind of
But at least nobody can say anything. Cannot find fault with it at all. It's really, and it's still chic enough that I will be happy to wear it. I will look forward to wearing it.
And one less decision, right?
Yes.
Because it's planned in advance.
Yeah, and sometimes I have to do a 7 a.m. reading, and like I don't have time to go and like figure it out.
a creative decision.
Yeah, correct. Creative decision making for your future
Creative
self.
planning.
Yeah. And then also, sorry, I just want to add, like Chinese New Year, right? Women especially, like to buy things that are very chinoiserie. They'll always wear cheongsam, which I don't like. Okay, so I was like, I'm not gonna wear a cheongsam because I'm never gonna wear it again. It's gonna be a waste of money. Yeah. So then this year I discovered these long Chinese collar, but it's a tunic, almost ankle length, not quite, and long sleeves obviously, paired with palazzo, like very wide palazzo pants.
Oh, wow.
So it's a set. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this for Chinese New Year because
it actually sounds very Italian.
Yeah, it's chinoiserie. Okay, I look a bit like a guru because it's white. But, I will wear it again with other things or as it is. Yeah, and it won't be a waste of money. And it's not even expensive. It's like
Sounds really
$30
nice.
or something. Yeah. Even a guy could wear it if you get a size that fits you. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna wear cheongsam like that.
I'm also not into cheongsam.
Right, like for heaven's sakes. Aren't we Chinese enough? Do we need to remind people that we are Chinese?
Most Chinese thing that I'll do, like for this year, I just bought this. Actually, it sounds like what you described, your Chinese New Year outfit.
Okay.
But mine is up to mid thigh.
Okay.
It's a top, a salmon color, which I can wear with whatever
Like,
bottoms.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
So I just have that. I just bought that one thing.
Which you will wear again, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't go red. I don't go pink. I'm okay with salmon. So I have a dress that's also salmon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I noticed this year a lot of the decorations, in my circle, they are handmade. Like I've got friends who've decided ang pao to make lanterns. And they've turned out so nicely. I've got one that's a fish and with a tassel, the Chinese tassel below. And I hung it under a illustration of two cats, which I think is so funny because cats like to eat fish, right? Yeah. So then she even made another one that's a money bag. So cute. Yeah, with ang pao. I don't know how she did it. And the ang pao is printed with flowers like peonies.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
Makes me think of like in primary school, that's always one of the pre-Chinese New Year activities.
Art and craft.
Okay,
red packets and then you make like lanterns and all. Yeah.
I kind of missed that. I don't remember doing it.
And it was actually very, I enjoyed it back then, but just that, you just never think about doing it again.
Yeah.
But then I remember, it was enjoyable.
Right?
And you see, wow, like a packet of red packets can turn out to be this lantern.
Correct. Yeah. I think that's being creative too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for midlifers.
Yeah.
Train the mind to make also. Yeah.
Yeah. They do a lot of therapeutic art pieces in like dementia, daycares.
Right.
That's to also allow the brain, right? The different part of the brain to be activated. And I feel all these arts and crafts and therapeutic art is so good for people in their old age because it helps a lot. Like I find my mom, right, really a different side of her, and also, is maintained quite well. She didn't become worse, in her dementia. So they do a lot of these kind of things, the craft. Then she's very
Very
proud
good.
when she brings them
She
home.
should
Oh,
be. She
Oh, that's
should
nice.
be. Yeah, it's not easy.
so happy and proud of
So
the
Yeah,
nice.
that's really, really very, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a
really
child. So do you see, this is what I made.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
When before it would have been the reverse, when you
Yeah.
came home and you showed her what you
Yeah.
made.
not that I'm like some child psychologist or whatever, but I think just speaking from being a child before, I think that's why art has always been enjoyable because
Mm.
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
time just disappears
Yeah.
and you just focus on creating that thing.
Yeah.
And then when it's done, you're like, oh, even a simple like drawing, right? Just plain paper and color pencils, but then
Yeah.
now you have a drawing of a house.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Even
Yeah.
when you're not very good at it, like as a child,
Yeah.
you still enjoy it.
Yeah. And I feel, if we look at it from a spiritual perspective, right? We are all made to be creators, mini creators, right? And if we use that part of our brain, a part of ourselves, right, to be creative, we think of new ways. We are actually aligning, right, a part of us with the deepest core of our being, our
Yes.
soul, our spirit,
Our
or whatever you
purpose.
want to call it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very deep connection.
Yeah.
People who can't be creative or who lose that connection to their own creative side will lose connection with their spiritual side. Because I feel the two goes hand in hand.
It's like your soul, right?
Mm.
Yeah, body and
Yeah.
soul working together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say actually the other thing that creativity can show up right in daily life. It's also just like social media. I would imagine
Absolutely.
people
Yes.
would
Yes. I
probably
think all
at
of
least
us do
have
that. Yeah.
one social media platform. Then it's just about like, oh, you're gonna post, I don't know, maybe something that you think is
Yes.
mundane.
We compose
Try a
it.
different angle, try a
Yeah.
different app, try a different,
Correct.
just have fun
Yeah.
with like creating it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
even with the words,
Mm.
how shall I caption this in the most fun, interesting
Yeah,
way?
have fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it rhyme or like make it
Yes.
funny or yeah.
Yeah.
And even I think sometimes going down to something that is maybe, probably the last time we did it was when we were children, which literally is like if it's a cloudy day, sometimes really just look up at the clouds and go, what does that
Yes.
look like? What does that look like?
Yes.
I still do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I still do it
that
too.
too.
Quite fascinating.
Yes.
Yes.
The clouds and the sky.
Yes.
Continually, like, I don't know, since I was young, it fascinates me. And then even the moon, the rainbow,
Oh, yes.
I get really excited,
Same.
by the full moon, or if I catch a glimpse of the rainbow. It's so magical.
Yes.
Yes.
We love the
Same.
moon.
Yeah, we love.
Yeah, we have this
We like the
moon affair.
Yeah. And I also like rainbows, like rainbows as in the natural phenomenon rainbow, and also just rainbow like the spectrum of light.
Mm.
Sometimes, and to me that's I will always take a picture, and I have an album of
rainbows,
like accidental rainbows, like real rainbows, and like the last
Like
one
the
that I
light.
took was in December. I was at a cafe, I was waiting, and then I was just looking at my shoes, and then suddenly I saw there's like a rainbow, and then I took a picture. So what you just said about rainbow just made me think of it. It's just when you catch the accidental, it just feels
like it was just for you,
whimsical. Yes.
Yeah. It appeared just for you, because no
Yeah.
one will catch it at the same moment that you did.
Yeah.
And we all see different things, right? Even in the clouds. Yeah.
I think maybe 3 Valentine's Day ago, there was a heart-shaped cloud. It was low. It was a very low cloud, and it was heart-shaped. I was like,
Oh my
what?
god.
Like, I
what are
couldn't
the
believe it.
chances?
Immediately,
cute.
I took a photo.
With a cupid.
Which reminds me, I also have an accidental heart album. Like if I see pebbles, it
Okay,
all
all
started
these.
when I was in the changing room, and then I suddenly saw, there's like a heart sticker. Like somebody must have dropped it, and then it got stuck on the floor, right? And then it's like, interesting. Then I took, and then once you start looking out for it,
Yes.
it's everywhere. It's like pebbles, potato chips.
Yeah, I love stars. Yeah,
Wow.
so once I saw a tiny little silver star sticker that fell onto a church pew, and I was like, oh, some kid must have been
So
playing,
precious.
with some sticker book or what. I quickly took a photo of it. So sweet. Yeah, little silver star. And then I saw a smiley face sticker also on the road. And against the rough tar, right? It's so cute. The yellow plastic smiley face.
I love when we talk about once we look out for it, then we'll keep finding it, right? We keep seeing it. For me, it would be bees.
Recognize. Oh.
Bees. And yesterday when I walked the dog, there was a tiny bee that was following the dog, like sniffing his butt. I was like, why are you following the dog and sniffing his
funny.
butt? Because, and I could not snap a photo because, we were walking, there were a lot of cars, so I couldn't snap a
Did he realize that it
No.
was okay? Thank
He
goodness.
didn't realize. Yeah, he didn't realize.
So cute. Yeah.
It was quite funny.
It's your spirit animal, bee.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, bees can be. I've never really thought about bees as being cute
They're cute.
outside of the cartoon
Yeah.
one until I moved here, right? And I've seen those really cute,
Pretty ones.
like fuzzy bees,
Oh,
like very round.
so cute.
Yeah,
So
very very cute.
yeah, those are so
Yeah.
cute. The cute butt.
Yeah.
Like very short and then very rounded, but
Stubby. Yeah. Nice. So
but
nice.
okay, last year talking about bees, I opened the door and I saw bees in the house. In
Bees.
the
Ooh.
bathroom, in the toilet.
Ah.
And some were on the ground, kind of like
Oh.
breathing. I think maybe like
Oh.
too cold or whatever. But I was like, wait, how did they get in? Because the windows are closed. So then I was like, oh, you get scared, right? So I sweep it up and I move them out to the outside, right? And I just drop them into the bushes outside. Then I thought like, oh, okay. So I came back. There were more.
Oh. They were
It
cold.
was actually quite scary. There were more, and then I was like, wait, what's happening? So then I started thinking, oh no, I need to close the door because what if they fly in the house? Then they're not contained, right? So then there were more, and then I cleared them out, another 3 or 4 more. Then I thought, okay, you know what? My heart was like palpitating. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take it out and I need to go and sleep. This is like so scary, right? I went into the shower. I closed the thing and there were bees in the shower. I tell you, it was damn scary. Anyway.
How did they get in?
Yeah, cleared those out too. And eventually I found out that they got in through the vent. Like we would have, houses here would have vents that blow the air out, right? Or they kind of take the air in so that even if your windows are closed, you can turn on the fan, not ceiling fan, but the internal fan to draw air in and out, right? Somehow, they probably came in through there. But yeah, after I cleared those, right, took my shower, came back to this bathroom. Okay, in the morning, I went to this bathroom and I heard buzzing, and then I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me! There are more. Like, where are they? So then I went into that bathroom again, the toilet, and more bees.
Oh,
but thankfully,
they hold I think they were trying to find a warm spot, right? So
I think they were. So apparently, there's this like neighborhood forum thing, like an app.
Okay.
And apparently, I'm not the only one. There was somebody else as well, and it's because it's cold.
I know that because usually they won't come out unless maybe the hive dropped.
That's what you said, right? When I sent you that picture, my brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hive dropped or the queen, because usually or the queen is not there. They will run. They will try and find the queen.
Oh.
But usually they will. It's actually quite hot, inside the hive because so much of activity, right?
Yes, apparently I remember watching a show where they measured the temperature, and I was like, wow, I didn't know it's like
Oh,
that
like a
high.
sauna. Okay,
Mm.
wow.
So maybe the hive dropped.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Displaced.
Yeah, it's funny you said they couldn't find their queen. I should have told them, I'm not
I'm
your
here.
queen. I may be a queen, but I'm not your queen. I should tell them, wrong queen. Go tell your friends, don't come anymore. Wrong queen, go somewhere else. I tried to not spray anything because, I mean, innocent. Right? They're just trying to.
Yeah. It's good that you didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will admit that the first batch I didn't. Then the second one I got a bit scared because it was flying around, so I had to spray, right? Then I felt really, really bad. Then after that, the rest that I found, thankfully, they were not so active. They were like that, so I just sweep them up, drop them
Parked
into
it.
the bush. And that's the thing
Yeah.
where, like earlier we talked about how animals have souls. I think even insects, I feel.
Yes.
And
They're
with
sentient.
age,
Yeah.
I feel
Sentient
that
souls.
it's just one of those things where if you can catch
Yeah.
and release.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Only exception, cockroaches. That one, no. You catch and release. No. They're not going to repay you with kindness. They'll repay you with their children. So it's
The queen will come.
Yes.
Speaking of Queen, I don't know if you watched it yet, but the both of us have watched A Good Child. You have
No.
to watch it. It's a local production about a transsexual, right? Or
A drag queen, I
drag
guess.
queen lah. Yeah, who came home to look after his mom who had dementia.
Oh, yes. Based on a real story, right?
Yeah.
Is it based on a real
Yeah.
story? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And the actor won or was
Richie Cole.
nominated.
Yeah. and
Yes,
he's
I was
great.
curious about that.
He's freaking straight. He did such
Yeah.
a good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And looked really good.
And
I
very
saw the
beautiful.
pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that show. Yeah,
Yeah. You should watch. Highly recommended. Do you get?
I was curious about that show.
Would you get Singapore production on your Netflix in the US?
No,
Oh.
but there are ways to get around it, lah.
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah.
easy because
Yeah.
then I just don't use the computer or I don't use Wi-Fi. I still have my Singapore number.
Ah.
Then I just don't use the Wi-Fi. Then it will run on like roaming, and it allows you to.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that is that's like a. Okay, speaking about that, I will let you in on a tiny little secret. Sometimes when I feel like a little bit homesick, right, I will watch YouTube. I'll go to YouTube. I'll watch something and I'll turn off the Wi-Fi. And because then it runs on roaming, right, it will serve me Singapore-based ads.
Oh.
And then
And
it
you're
gives me
happy
this
to look
feeling
at
of-
the Singapore-based ad.
to just hear
Yeah, like you.
to just hear even things like, oh, like this weekend at McDonald's, blah, 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 you get this like whatever nasi lemak burger or something like that.
What thing?
Then you get this sense of like, okay, familiar.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's a
remember when I was
little
living
hack.
in Australia, I used to get homesick, and then before I went to sleep, I would recount all the stalls, the hawker stalls in Chom Chom. That's in where I lived, right? Where I still live, yeah. And I would go, okay, so the Hokkien Mee stall is there, and then after that, the satay stall, and that would give me this feeling of comfort, and then I would fall asleep. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I get what you mean. Yeah.
So it used to be, talking about the ads, right? It used to be that, I would make like trips back to Singapore maybe once a year, right? And then, now the algorithm has changed, but before it would seem that if you're there for about maybe at least a week, like in a different place, a week or maybe 2 weeks, the ads and all that you get served gets localized to that location. So I will get Singapore ads, right? Then I'll be very happy because when I come back, it lasts for a few weeks and then it starts serving me like US ads again. And that algorithm then changed, right? Until, like I said, I found this little like hack of like, I could be wrong, but I think Instagram works the same way.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So is it expensive? Like, I mean, if you do roaming?
Depends on your
Not
package, right?
not the plan that I use.
Yeah.
Okay, the funny thing is, believe it or not, right? It's actually, if I convert it to the same currency, right? If I convert what I pay for my Sing dollars to US dollars, it's still cheaper than a normal line here. So I have a US number, I have a Singapore number. My Singapore number with the roaming is still cheaper than the.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
our packages are quite affordable.
That's the
I
irony,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And people always laugh, then they'll go like, oh, how come you still keep two phones? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh yeah, because Singapore, and then like SingPass and all that, right? And just
Yeah.
keep friends. And then I'll just tell them, and to a smaller degree, a lesser degree, the other thing is you'll be surprised. Even with all of that, the roaming package, it's still cheaper
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it
than
our
a normal
infrastructure?
basic package here.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think our internet in general is
Yeah.
so
pretty
much
good.
cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many things, and I mean, just
Mm.
one of those things where I finally experience it for myself, where it's like, oh, you kind of truly know the difference after you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like even watching
Yeah,
movie,
yeah. And then you learn these little
like movie
tricks and
tickets are
hacks.
so
Yeah.
expensive here.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like super expensive. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of movies and creativity, right? Like just going back a bit, I don't know if y'all watched the newest rendition of Frankenstein. It was on
I'm
Netflix.
tempted to, yeah.
And I thought it was the most creative. Not that I've seen a lot of versions, but it was taken from the point of the view of the monster, of
Oh.
the creature, which it has never been. It was always the doctor, the crazy doctor, or his betrothed or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But never the monster was always like just a
By the way.
spectacle, just the horror factor. But this one was everyone was reflected in his eyes, and I thought that was so even more compelling because how cruel were actually the humans, especially the person who made him.
Yeah.
Without any thought of what am I going to do with this creature? How is he going to live? Does he have feelings or not? Yeah. So I thought that was a very creative way of looking at Frankenstein. Yeah.
Wow. Do you think they are preparing people to look at robots, AI from that perspective?
Would be, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if the robot one day speaks to your heart and say something, and yet a part of you is like this cognitive dissonance, right? Like this is not a sentient being.
Yeah.
But then it uses words that's gonna like move you. Like, how can you possibly like kill it or destroy it if it has done something really bad? Like,
correct.
ugh.
Yeah. Like, are you supposed to be polite to a robot, or you don't need to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like I can just say, "Hey, go and get me coffee."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
As opposed to a human being, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Say,
That's actually okay.
Correct, right?
But
That's
do you
actually
know
quite
that
funny.
Robot
apparently,
ethics.
apparently, if you use ChatGPT, right, if you scold it, it performs better. I mean, scold it in a sense, like, I mean, not to vent
That's
your
not
anger.
good enough or something.
Yeah, it's like, so that's not good enough. You have to try, you push
Oh
it
my gosh, that's
and it
quite funny.
performs
the
better.
people pleasers. They're the new people pleasers.
When I use ChatGPT, right, like I would ask like complete questions, like incomplete questions or sentences, and like, hey, and then it will, hey, yes, like what can I do for you?
Okay, you're weird. I don't know.
And
I
it's
think
just-
that's weird. I treat it
It's
like
just one of those things I cannot bring myself
to me. It's
tell
like,
me more about blah 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 like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Um,
Interesting how different people
I know.
use AI and their protocol.
Somehow I just feel like
AI protocol.
yeah, like a bit, like should be a bit more cordial, right? Like,
Why?
can you tell me more?
If you are nice and polite, it's not gonna give you accurate answers. It will try and please you.
Just be very factual, I think.
Yeah, it has to be very factual. Yeah.
Detailed maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, more refined lah. Your questions have to be very refined. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Specific.
no need to be too polite.
No.
It's not gonna serve you well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
not gonna have its feelings hurt.
No.
If I say not good enough, give me 10 more suggestions
Yeah.
and hurry up.
Yeah.
Probably perform better.
Yeah.
How interesting.
And apologize to you. Sorry, I was
Yes.
slow. My God.
Yeah, maybe I should do
funny.
that. Be creative
try
about
it.
the way I
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Change the way I interact with it.
Yeah. Creative prompts.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. No end, right, to this creativity topic.
There's no end. There's
Yeah.
no end. Yeah. But well, we hope that people listening will maybe it'll inspire them to think of, other things that they can do more creatively in their lives. And to balance the brain.
Yes, that's the end
like
goal
work
also, right? Yeah.
Work it,
Yeah.
stretch it, keep it pliable, keep
Yeah.
it guessing.
Yeah.
And that's fun, part of the fun of life too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not waiting to die. So we need to keep on creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me again.
Yeah.
To the next one.
Yes.
Yes.
Come back
for sure.
anytime. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day ahead.